uncut gems. So look at this outfit, memorize it. You're gonna see it twice. Actually already recorded a video on this topic and the sound quality was like, had this weird hiss in it. So it was like, and I couldn't even get through editing it. So I was like, you know what, re-record it. And I will be the worst thing according to all Lizzie McGuire fans, which is an outfit repeater. Hi friends, how are you? My name is Danny Driuso. I am an author, I'm a speaker, I am an educator, helping you own the F out of who you are online and offline. And one of the things that I talk about is social media consent, which is very exciting. If you watch this in real time, like you are actively watching this video the day that I actually post it, then you will notice that I actually have a $27 workshop that is on social media consent, which will be tying into what we're talking about today. I will put the link for that below. If you're watching this in the future and you're like, hey, I can't access this because it is a live workshop, I will be putting the replay of the actual workshop portion, not the Q&A. I'm not actually going to record the Q&A just to respect everyone's privacy, but the actual workshop portion, which is about, I want to say an hour and a half or 2 hours, will actually be in my membership, in my Patreon, but it will be at the VIP level along with the iconic leadership workshop as well. So you get both those workshops and then you get a monthly call with me where we get to chat about whatever face to face or computer screen to computer screen. So today's episode, we are talking about, can you actually slide into someone's DMs or cold pitch someone in a consensual way? So when we talk about social media consent, we're talking about, sorry about that. We are talking about having social media be a consensual space for us, which means that we're we are allowing a lot of choice and autonomy for ourselves and for our audience, which means that we aren't like sliding into someone's DMs, demanding something from them or going in with an agenda that in order to actually achieve our mission, that we have to use coercion, manipulation tactics, or anything that's really non-consensual in our approach. When it starts to be non-consensual is when you're going into people's personal spaces and demanding or expecting attention, demanding or expecting an answer, or demanding and expecting a sales conversation when they are on their personal profile. So this looks like, oftentimes, it looks like having a personal conversation, a catch-up conversation, and then all of a sudden, oh, so what are your goals? But not what are your goals? I'm genuinely curious. What are you working on? I'd love to hear more about you. It's what are your goals? How do you think you're going to approach that goal? Blah, 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 blah. And then maybe I'm in that sales conversation, I'm getting those messages right away. I feel like I'm in a business interview in my own personal inbox. And it is equivalent to someone knocking on your door and then you let them come on in. You're like, yeah, come on inside. Like, let's hang out. And you have a cheese platter for them. You've poured some drink of choice for them and you're sitting on the couch getting cozy. And that person says, so what are your health goals right now? Because I'm doing a program that blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you're in a sales pitch when you thought you were hanging out, which doesn't feel great. I often talk about how cold pitches in the DMs are not the most consensual thing. So let's pull it back for a second. Can we cold pitch something consensually? And I think this is a really important topic to unpack because even me, myself, right now, I'm approaching companies and figuring out what fits in with my ethics in terms of like showing up and cold pitching them in a way that's like, hey, I have something that you might not know exists. If you want more information, I have the resources to give you that information type thing in terms of my workshops and stuff, because I work with a lot of amazing companies and they actually reach out to me and I want to start outreaching to other companies. And so what's consensual, right? Like what is consensual? And a lot of times these companies have a hierarchy of someone who handles the budget or someone who is in charge of the workshops. And you kind of want to give that individual an option of something that you offer while still respecting their capacity as a person who has a lot of stuff on their plate already. And you want to make sure that what you have is actually going to make their life easier and support their staff or their team or their whatever, right? So in terms of that, I think cold pitching, when you actually like cold pitch, or maybe you might even go and email someone, I get email submissions all the time for people who want to be on my podcast. My thought process on this, and this might not be perfect, and we're going to actually unpack this a lot in the workshop as well. When you look at company and industry structures that have someone who is in charge of the budget, and that is kind of their job, is to outsource or find workshops or find personal development stuff or find product things for that company or whatever. And I even did this with my book, to be honest, because with my book, Get Off Your Ass and Into Your Life, I wanted to have it in bookstores locally. And so what I did is I would make them, this is in person, but I would make them little gift bags with my book, with a little bit of like, hey, this is who I am. And I would actually go to the shop and say, hey, is the owner in today? I would love to talk to them. I'm actually a local author. I am self-published and this is my book. And I'd love to maybe collaborate with you guys or partner with you guys to have my book in your store, even if it's a few copies, and I could sign them for you. And what can I do to help you create more buzz in your store? And how can I help support you with that while still having the exposure on my end and having some copies sold of my book? Win-win. So that was what I did in person, which I think is like I'm coming and I'm gifting you something. I'm giving you something of value and you can say no. I'm giving you full autonomy, full choice. Here, if you want more information, you can reach out to me. I'm not going to follow up with you unless that's okay with you, but I'm just going to gift you this and give you all my information. And then if you want to have this in your store, amazing. If not, that's okay, right? Giving tons of choice, tons of autonomy, tons of space. But also with that, like I did my research. I knew what stores were working and partnering with local authors or indie authors. Like I knew, and there were stores that I loved and I had so much appreciation for them. And I didn't mind putting myself on the line while still appreciating and respecting the actual establishment. I didn't go in expecting anything. I went in ready to like give and make a connection and then maybe have something cool happen, maybe not, and that's okay. Here's the difference, is that I was going to establishments, companies that had representation of the company, which means that they are at work when this happens. I didn't go to the owner's personal house, okay? That's weird. So think of it like that. Are you reaching out to like a company page where they're expecting to get business information or business things? Or are you looking at people's personal space or profiles as hunting ground for you to get your catch or your sale? I think intention matters a lot. I also think that spaces that you're going into matters a lot. So something that might be a little bit more consensual and giving a lot of space and capacity for consent and choice would be, okay, this is someone's business profile. This is someone's business email. This is something, and being really clear and direct, doing your research, being clear of what you're asking for, giving a lot of space, time, autonomy, choice, like I have this to gift you and offer you, you let me know, and then not pushing a no or not pushing ghosting or whatever. Or if you're following up, just following up once and then letting it go, right? Just letting it go. Giving that person so much space, so much autonomy. You want to make sure it's clear, it's consensual, and it is kind, okay? And the kindest thing that you can do is be direct and transparent with that person. Clear is kind is a Brené Brown quote. I'm pretty sure that you are clear, direct, and transparent, and give people choice and give people a chance to say no or not respond, because that's okay. And then do whatever you need to do for yourself to emotionally regulate, to get yourself in check, to handle that in an appropriate manner so that other person doesn't feel like just a number on your sales list, okay? Because that's not okay, especially personal connections, because they are not expecting a business transaction on their Facebook profile that they follow family and friends with, right? Or that they utilize for their own business. They don't want to get pitched from that. They may reach out if they want to know what you have to offer, but they don't want to be pitched in their own sacred space, if that makes sense. And a great way to have people reach out to you is utilizing your marketing as informed consent of what it looks like to work with you, about who you are, about what you stand for, and really don't shut up about who you are and what you do. Okay, did you love that? Are you gonna come hang out in the workshop? Feel free. If it doesn't feel like a good fit for you, that's totally okay. All the information is laid out in the link that I will put below this video. And if you wanna know more about leadership horror stories, social media consent, iconic leadership, all that stuff that I talk about regularly, I will put a playlist here for you and you'll see it after the video is done too, so you can binge watch those. You're fabulous. Stop being so secretive about it. Now go be consensual on the internet. Bye, you guys.